Hey, today I'm going to talk about my experiments with ChatGPT. But you know what? I have a confession to make. I was late to the ChatGPT party. It launched on 30th of November 2022, and I did not get around to actually testing it till maybe first week of February. I had two reasons for it. First one was I assumed that, like previous chatbots, ChatGPT was another new AI kid on the block, and people will test it to death and get bored of it. It's stupid due to its answers and just throw it out of the window, saying that it's another useless tool. I did not take much pains because I was busy elsewhere. That was my second reason. I was busy launching a restaurant and I was more involved in the offline marketing for a change, and online things were not much on my radar. But it is not like that I was completely cut off. I think somewhere around 25th or 26th of December, I tried to log into the OpenAI website, and at that point of time, it was full to the capacity, and I just couldn't create a login ID, and I just closed it and forgot about it. I kept reading some articles, online publications, and newsletters talking about it. But as the weeks progressed, around mid of January, I realized that every single newsletter or news item landing in my inbox, it had ChatGPT word in its subject line. And I was like, no, I must check it out for myself and see why all this hype is around it. People were calling it really awesome, really intelligent, and a real AI tool that people were looking for, getting all gung ho about it. Some people were scared also that it was the end of so many professions, so many ways of life, end of teaching, end of homework. I mean, all sort of things. So I thought I'll test it out for myself. And something else happened during the same time. I received a message from Notion saying that I could check their AI tool. So I thought, why not check out Notion AI itself? Because there was no extra login required, and Notion AI was also built on GPT-3 model, like ChatGPT. I just opened Notion, gave it a prompt for AI, and I found the answer pretty unimpressive. I closed Notion and closed the matter, and that was it. Except it was not really the end of the matter. The answer just kept moving in my head, and then I realized after a couple of hours that it could be the problem was not with the answer given by ChatGPT, but with my expectations. Maybe I was expecting a fully polished text in answer to my query, and so I found it unimpressive. What if I could use it as an outline or a shitty first draft that has to be improved upon? Because there are times when I find it difficult to write even a first draft. So I could use an output from AI, right? Which meant that I had to now check out ChatGPT once again, the second attempt. But this time I wanted to do it with the real thing. That is the actual Chat GPT, not any model that was built using GPT-3. So I went to the OpenAI website, and thankfully I was able to log in. And there was a major difference that I noticed between Notion AI and ChatGPT. That difference was the chat of ChatGPT. In ChatGPT, you can create conversations as chats around a topic. As you can see, I have created some conversations around a couple of topics. I'll be sharing screenshots from these in just a moment. But this was a difference. In Notion AI, you cannot. You ask a question and you can just save the answer there itself. But here, you can hold a conversation around a topic and keep giving it more information, and then you have closed the conversation today and just again come back to it after a couple of days with more information and refining the output that you're getting. That was the difference, and I really liked the idea because it signals that I can use it for long term. My first prompt for ChatGPT, I had to, really think that what should be my first prompt. And then I zeroed in on creating some marketing content for my book. 24 hours are enough. Now, this is a book that I wrote and published way back in 2021. I have not been able to market it much. I find it difficult and challenging to create marketing content and then post it on the relevant forums so that people get to know about my book and buy it, read it, maybe talk about it. I thought, okay, let me try this out. And this was my first prompt. Write me a headline that positions 24 hours are enough as a solution to lack of time for women who work from home. And just less than a second, it gave me this output. Revolutionize your work from home routine with 24 hours are enough. The ultimate time management solution for women. Now there's a little problem. It is actually a book, not a tool or something like that. So I told it 24 hours are enough is a book. And just look at this. The tool apologizes for the confusion. When, to be honest, it was my fault that I didn't tell it at the outset. So it gives me an updated headline. Unlock time management secrets, how 24 hours are enough helps women working from home achieve work life balance. Then I thought, okay, let me make it more focused. My next prompt was something like this: solving prioritization issue. It gave me another headline, but I did not find it so helpful. So I thought I'll just check out if it could create an email for me. So it did that. But it again assumed that it is a book because I had moved to a new chat. So I told it again that it's a book and just look at the way it has changed the messaging. And in the last line, you can see I'll share a resource that can help you achieve this. The book 24 Hours Are Enough by Emily White. So I was, suitably shocked because I have written the book and I told so the book has been written by me. And then look at the personalization that has been introduced. It's a practical guide that provides insights. As a working mother and time management expert, I understand the challenges and I share my own experiences and lessons learned throughout the book. The amount of personalization is really impressive and I really like the output. Next, I thought I will ask it to craft me a social media post for the book and just look at the awesome work it has done. I find it awesome because it is something that is written in line with what I read from other authors who have published new books, and it has the right amount of emojis sprinkled within the text. I really liked it was without any prompt from me. Next, I wanted to try some technology content. You must be knowing that I write about technology, not the consumer technology, but tools used by small and mid-sized business owners. I wanted to check out some technology content. And when I did it, then I was again not very impressed with the output. For testing, I picked up a tool that I have already written about, so I cannot show you the screenshots of what output it gave me, but I can tell you about the quality of the output. The first thing was it was more like a student writing just for marks. The output seemed like a situation where a student has vague idea about what the answer should be, but it does not know the exact points to be mentioned. So the student will just go round and round talking about it so that they score at least 1.5 or 2 marks out of 5 instead of 0. So that was the way ChatGPT gave me output when I asked it about the tool or features. Then the language was repetitive and sloppy, not very crisp sort of stuff that one would expect. And there was no training data available after September 2021. To be fair, ChatGPT itself shared this information with me. So that was about marketing content, technology content. I thought that we have some funnels, some jokes, couplets, birthday messages. Let me start with birthday messages. I asked to write me a birthday message in Snape style, Professor Snape. And surprisingly, or rather unsurprisingly, it wrote a birthday message for Harry Potter. And you can see the typical Snape style phrases used for Potter: dreary existence, lamentable performance, and I trust you will not let this opportunity for self reflection go to waste. Pretty much what Snape could have said if he had ever wished him. which also gave me another idea. Why not get a message for Neville Longbottom? And again, you will see the typical phrases that Snape would use: propensity for breaking rules, making a mess of things. I suggest that you start by practicing more diligently, embarrass yourself. All in all, a good message. And finally, I ended with asking ChatGPT to write me a McGonagall joke. And personally, I feel it is a dud because if you have to explain the joke, then there is no point. And finally, I asked ChatGPT to write me a couplet in Gulzar Saab's style. And that was when it got scary because the two lines that it has written could very well have come from the pen of Gulzar Saab. It shows you what it is capable of. With proper training data set, it can actually turn out things like a real human being can. So, this is something we should be aware of and wary of as well. Because if we are thinking that some output has been done by humans, but it has been done by machine, then it has its own connotations, and we should be aware of that. Now comes the final verdict. The first one was it is good for generating marketing content, or maybe I should say that it is good for generating any type of content that you suck at because it churns out an average level of content. If you are below that in your skill, you can take the help of ChatGPT to start out. Then, if you are using ChatGPT to learn concepts, it must be under adult supervision because you need someone to tell you whether the information given is right or wrong. It could be your teacher, your parents, or anyone senior to you who is capable of doing that. Because the idea of using ChatGPT to learn is to learn the right things, not factually incorrect stuff. The third thing is the intelligence of ChatGPT is still well artificial. It needs to improve upon its language, the emotions in the language, so that it feels more friendly. And last but not the least, it is a bit scary too, the uncanny similarity between the output given by ChatGPT and the output a human would produce. But the $1 million question is, will I use it in the future? And yes, I will definitely use it, but with loads of caution. My experiments have taught me that I should not have blind faith in what ChatGPT is telling me. I must cross check, improve upon it, and only then share it in public domain. If you like my video, then please like it, share it with your friends. And if you have any questions about ChatGPT, the experiments I ran, the language model it is built upon, please drop a comment and I promise to answer. But please don't forget to subscribe and press the bell icon. Then you will get to know immediately whenever I post my next video. That's all for today. Thank you. Bye bye.